our guests are the Blender4Dental brothers.
Most people just say B4D. Sometimes, the 4 looks like a bad B4D.
But initially you started with making jewellery.
In the first project I had, someone contact me with a prototype of a gun. Our job from working with hands is transforming into digital. This was like a crossroads.
Some mornings I might wake up and see a post there and I think, wow.
Because people don't know how to cut and paste.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Oh, I can work with Mac? Fantastic. Hello everyone. This is NextDental podcast and I am Antonello Croce.
Antonello Croce, dental technician and digital dentistry consultant, founder and CEO of Medentica, inventor and ambassador of digital flow in dentistry.
Today I will be the host of this podcast and our guests are Mike and Wolfgang Teiniker.
So-called Blender4Dental brothers, the founders of Blender4Dental software, pioneering digital dentistry with 3D modeling solutions. Originally from Australia.
The Blender4Dental brothers. I'll thank you Remedico for sponsoring this podcast. Hello guys, how are you?
Hi Antonello, thanks for having us, and to NextDental, really appreciate being here. It's fantastic actually, being in Dubai.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Blender4Dental has come such a long way. So we're happy to be here and meet everybody, and yeah.
Exactly. Welcome to Dubai. And how is Dubai? How is the weather? How did you enjoy Dubai during these last days?
I would say it's hot.
We had 43, feels like 51.
Yeah.
It's quite radical.
It's quite hot, but in November, it's coming cooler, the weather.
It's better now.
Yeah.
People are coming out of their homes. The streets are filling up. Shopping centers are always full because they're air conditioned. A little bit too cold for my liking.
Yeah. We need to spend time in all the mall of the Dubai. That's what I'm going to enjoy when it's too hot. For who is listening, what is Blender4Dental? Blender4Dental software is maybe you have heard about Blender, but not about Blender4Dental, or it's a software that's helping always and always more the dental technician, and maybe you have heard about the famous IBAR during the last months. The first question is how everything started about this developing of this Blender4Dental.
Well, Blender is a software. It's actually free to download. Anyone can download Blender. So Blender4Dental is Blender4Dental. So it's an obvious name to use.
Well, it's quite sometimes a bit confusing, blender. In German, it's like a mixer to make smoothies.
Food processor.
So it's a little bit weird, the name, but it's very relevant for Blender4Dental. Actually, it originated in Australia. We're both from Australia originally. And before COVID hit, I think.
That's when we started Blender4Dental. But we were using Blender for a long time before we even started Blender4Dental.
You were using it for dental practice or?
No, non-dental stuff.
Okay.
And of course, Blender4Dental is such a long word. Most people just say B4D, B4D, just short. Sometimes, the 4 looks like a bad B4D. Yeah, so I would say 10 years ago it started.
But initially you started with making jewellery.
Yeah, that's right. So 10 years ago, being a dental technician it's a difficult job.
You are both dental technician?
Yes,
okay.
Last 30 years,
okay.
Crown and bridge work, veneers, implants.
Same. We both had separate, our own independent businesses back then.
Yes.
In an analog way.
Yeah, Crown and bridge and analog, mixing plaster.
Coming from South Africa.
Okay.
We both studied in South Africa.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we traveled. Wolfgang went to Germany and then to New Zealand. And then I joined him in New Zealand and we had a practice there. It was quite good.
Yeah, so we kind of journeyed the whole spectrum of dentistry, doing dental laboratory work, running a surgery. And even from experience-wise, dental technology was a little bit different in South Africa than in Germany. In Germany, modern laboratories working with
cats.
full rehabilitation. So it was a great learning curve.
So I would say 10 years ago it's started. My Blender journey started 10 years ago.
Okay. And Blender is an open source and it's a free software to download.
Yes.
So but what about B4D? So B4D, like it's developing add-ons?
Yeah, correct. So, in just before COVID, we started. Actually, it was quite weird because we started Blender4Dental, and Wolfgang was the first one to say, I'm going to close my doors. I'm not going to go back to work. And when he says, I'm going to close my doors, he actually literally meant it because working from home, he got a builder in and he plastered the door.
I couldn't physically get into the lab. That was during the COVID where it was a downturn, so to be expected.
COVID, I remember it.
For me, it was a little bit more daunting. That being a dental technician was my job. Doing Blender4Dental part-time, it was a little bit hard to juggle, coming home from work and then developing.
I guess it's working in the laboratory and then going back to the computer and then finding that time between juggling.
And then actually COVID was really good for the two of us. We just packed up and closed shop and said, we're going to do this now.
And what was the first project that you started with, like the first module that you developed for?
Well, okay, the first project that I've ever done, and I didn't actually do it because I was listed with a company called Shapeways in the US as a designer. And the first project I had someone contact me with a prototype of a gun, to make a gun,
nice.
3D print a gun. But of course I couldn't do it because it's illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal, yeah.
Even though we can print almost anything
Yeah.
At that stage, no. But then we developed the model making.
Model design.
So model design.
No, but before that, we found it difficult because we only have a few CAD software programs out there at the time. More are coming on board now. But suddenly my clients were going, you've got to get this and that, communicate software, download this STL. I didn't even know what STL means. Now I've got to, pay towards this communication program.
To get the file.
To even get the file from my dentist client that I've worked for years. So it was kind of daunting, frustrating. And then being Crown and Bridge, where I said to Michael, we've got to start making crowns with Blender, hurry up.
Yeah,
and that's
correct.
exactly what we did then.
So I find myself also in that awkward situation. Our job from working with hands is transforming into digital. And, this is there was a huge issue for me because I didn't really know what to do. And, we need to evolve. Every career needs to evolve. And this was like a crossroads. And, having my own laboratory, I would have this enormous expense, this outlay to pay for software. There's other CAD softwares out there, but it was totally monopolized.
Yeah, there were other
softwares.
Other software. You didn't go in deep.
No, because you needed to subscribe, like a yearly subscription fee. The initial expense was huge. So this was a little bit difficult. And not only for us, but for a lot of other dental laboratories and dentists out there. So we needed an alternative. There was a free program, Mesh Mixer. A lot of dentists and dental technicians got into Mesh Mixer, which is a really good program. But I think they've discontinued that now.
Yeah, and it does have some limitations because each procedure you've got to do again and again. There's no sequence of, in Excel you might get macros and you push something and it does all the calculations for you.
It's used maybe mostly to check the mesh, like analysis tool, and then that's it. They export again.
The problem with Blender is it is so big and it's so very complicated. If you download it, the tools that we have for B4D, they don't exist. You know, you don't have the cutting tools to cut out a scan. It is there, you know, but you have to replicate it. So every time you want to cut a scan, you've got to do like 200 or 300 steps to be able to cut a scan. So that it's not, you know, it becomes unworkable.
The layout still looks. How do you think is the layout of the B4D software? Like with the add-ons, you developed all this easy step to go from scratch to the end. And what's the feedback from the users that you are getting?
Yeah, I think that, yeah, like you say, the plugins, we've got various plugins, and you can, depending what you want to make digitally, you can then decide which modules you want to use. And we kind of, look, Blender4Dental is not wizard driven. We don't have a wizard to go from one step to the next step to the next step. You become the wizard in some ways because you learn it, and we've developed, in my opinion, and I hope to say this, that the learning tutorials are pretty precise, and of course crossing the language barrier is quite difficult, but we're getting more and more languages on board. So you got to kind of follow the videos and learn, and then it's just, in some ways it's still a step by step. You just follow the menu left to right and then go down, and then in the end of it you'll have your model, for example.
Exactly, yeah. From my experience, that was the first impression. I was like, wow. Like I don't have to create a patient like a schedule for that restoration. I just start with one scan, and then I can do with that STL file, I can do a crown, and then I switch the module, just, okay, let's do an IBAR, okay? That's the coolest thing I think you can do in B4D. You don't need to start again from another files, okay? You can just save that and then proceed with another one. Is that true?
Well, that's right. And that was a big challenge because we had one module, the model designer, and then we had another one to put a company logo onto a model. And now we've got, 10 or 11 or 12 modules out there. But then to make them work with each other, that was very, very tricky. But we there's still a few hiccups now and then, but, you know, thanks to our users, you know, if something goes wrong, we can fix it very fast. This is very different to other softwares, isn't it?
Yeah, the development is quick and it's user-based. So, you know, people give us ideas, or if they, you know, and they are valid, excellent ideas, we'll take those ideas on board. And within days, we'll have the update out.
Yeah, that's about B4D family. It's another thing, yeah.
Yes.
There is a huge family of B4D out there.
Yeah, that's right. And we appreciate all the feedback and the way people know each other in the Blender4Dental community.
Yeah, when you say family, it is a little bit like that because, and I think this is because we've got all of our, the way we've structured the business model. You know, we've got instructors. So just say you come along and you love it, and now you want to start teaching B4D to others. You know, because we need the level of teaching to be extremely high to be successful. We need to have accredited instructors.
Yes, that's good.
If we don't have that, then students will go to an instructor or a course and they'll walk away and think, oh, this doesn't work for me. So our videos and the level of accredited instructors have to be very high. So you come along and say, okay, you want to become an accredited instructor, we will actually give you like a test, like an exam to follow. And then based on that, well, then you can do your own courses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just touching on that, you might not speak English. So you might be Korean or a student and you love the software.
Yeah.
You want to teach it to others. So it's a bit daunting, you know, contacting these guys in Australia and so on who don't speak Korean. So we do have agencies now.
Okay.
And these are language specific. So you would contact your language specific agency, and then you can do your accreditation.
It doesn't mean where you are, but what language you speak. Is that right? So.
Yes, that's correct. So, and we've got a big following on Facebook and other social media. Probably my kids will go, "Oh, Dad's still on Facebook." That's just old style. But a lot of users like that, and some mornings I might wake up and see a post there, and I think, wow, how did this person actually design this kind of thing? So we really give the dental community the CAD tools to work in Blender, and then the creativity is amazing that comes out of it.
What about the restoration covered with all these modules? How many modules are more or less?
At the moment, we've got about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And some of those are free modules to download.
Oh, that's good. And what we can do? We can do all the restorations with Blender4Dental?
Almost everything.
Almost.
We still have a request for making aligners, orthodontic aligners.
Orthodontic.
We've put that on the top shelf. It's been there for like 3 years. Blender is really good because it's an animation program, and if you Google Blender, and actually thanks to and credit to the developer Ton Rosenthal, he was a Dutch artist and a self-taught software developer, which is very good.
And that started in 94.
Yeah,
Blender.
And that's going back quite a while now. But if you just Google, Blender movies, for example.
Yeah, we can see.
And the artistic, what you can actually make with Blender, it's just incredible. Architects use it, engineers, jewelry makers, video games, for example. So the core software that we use, we don't change that. Even though it's open source software, and they actually give us license to do with it whatever we want. We can cut it down, we can shape it, but we don't do that. So our modules are additive. So we bring to it. We don't cut it down and make it just work for us and sell it. We don't want to do that. So it's just like from the box, put our modules in, and then the user can enhance their knowledge and actually go outside of what we are teaching to do their own thing.
You don't close,
No.
You don't remove all the stuff from Blender.
Yeah.
Basic. You still leave users, to go around Blender and.
Yeah, so like Michael says, the plugins are additive to Blender, but there in itself lies the big challenge because Blender is always evolving. So we decided we'll stay with the LTS. So, once a year they come out with
every 2 years, I think.
2 years they come out with a new version. And it's really our job to keep Blender4Dental compatible with all of these new developments.
From Blender.
So Blender is massive. A lot of intelligent people come together to build this amazing mammoth machine. And
all you need to do is look at the graphics.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other
dental CAD softwares, the graphics is like, in my opinion, superior.
Yeah. But then you do need a good computer, saying that. Some of our users have these old machines and they send us, this doesn't work
Doesn't
that
work,
doesn't work. But you need a good graphic card and you need it up-to-date. And Wolfgang's got a Mac computer, and I hate Mac computers.
I love it.
I'm pro Mac.
Yeah, you're a Mac
right.
person.
Yeah. And when I found Blender, I can work with Mac? Fantastic, yeah. Then I bought my first Mac.
You're the enemy.
But you got M3 chapter, you?
Yes. It's working really good.
Yeah, it's got a lot of benefits.
And I don't think there's any other dental programs on Mac.
The new ones,
Okay.
Some of them
are on Mac.
are developing for Mac as well.
Yeah,
the new.
yeah.
But okay, Blender for Dental, is it only for dental technician or also for clinics?
Well, surprisingly, probably about half of our users are dentists.
Oh,
And that so goes the accredited instructors.
Yeah.
Probably more than half
wow.
are dentists, but not only, also specialists, periodontists,
Wow.
orthodontists, maxillofacial surgeons. So
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yes, that's
So that's actually very interesting, because you would think, oh, well, this is more of a dental laboratory thing, making crowns or whatever. But there is a huge interest in digital work. We've given a course in Dubai yesterday in the last few days. And, dentists are there. They quite enjoy doing this type of work.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they want a deeper understanding of technology. Because if they want to prescribe, say, like a big case, an all on X or something, knowing the intricate details of the capabilities of the software is quite important. And so there is a big interest in it.
Having said that, for example, the dentists there, they might have unique workflows. So this is where a wizard-driven software has got its downfall. They might want to adopt their own techniques or digital workflows, which is very difficult to go through in conventional dental CAD software. And we can now show, and as you have yesterday,
The tools
a special
are there.
technique of tray designing and
So all we
implant
do
work.
is we make a video. So the tools are all there. We make a video specifically for this dentist so that he can then follow that in his surgery, and he's doing something that other software can't do.
If we have to say, what is the main, what set apart dental technician to switching from other software from then to Blender for Dental?
Well, I would say that switching is nice, but it's not necessary, not always necessary, because all the softwares are a bag of tools that you can use. But you can switch if you want to. Although the switch, if you're used to one particular dental CAD software for years and years and years, all of a sudden you're going to navigate, the mouse movements are different. And there's a new learning curve involved, fair enough. And do people often have the time? I think not so, but it's important to actually, if you want to adopt this free open source software program and amazing tools that we have, you have to invest a bit of time learning.
I think you're right there, Wolfgang, because it's more like a bag of tools. So we don't want to see us as like competition. You got to switch from this program to this. We don't want to do that.
It's a synergy.
It's like we give you this, and use it if you want to. And our add-ons, our software is affordable.
Yeah, and like you say, it's affordable, but also we give users the ability to have the software on 3 computers, which is amazing, because I might want to work from home a little bit, not too much, and then I've got my computer, laptop, you might be on a train or a bus or something, and then at work. So we thought that's a good way of delivering.
And maybe we
software.
have to mention that now the installation is very easy, because maybe someone have tried to install
in the
Amiarsigo in the past.
Yeah, but you got to understand that when we started, we had like 1 or 2 or 3 modules, and we had this system of giving like a pass key, and it would copy and paste it into a specific, like a field. And that was too much to ask, because people don't know how to cut and paste.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But now that we've got all of these modules, we needed to invest a lot of time and money into this user interface.
Yes, so that user interface is used for installing our add-ons. It installs a Blender, the correct Blender version. It is responsible for updating the software, so all the Blender4Dental users are on board with the latest software, and it gives you notifications on
When
courses and when to update. So that's quite good.
So if you're wondering to try the Blender4Dental out, you can just click auto install the modules after you install the user interface, and the module will be installed automatically. And another question, what if we mentioned that if I want to become instructor, because nowadays education is very important, training is very important. So do you have an application form on the website?
Yes, that's correct. So ideally you'd own the modules, you've spent a little bit of time, you don't just get it today and then tomorrow you want to be an instructor. Just take your time, and when you're confident working, we've got an application on the website. Just fill that out. Let us know which is your preferred language, which modules you might want to teach in a course. And then we've got this way of, you send us your video. When I say video, you just demonstrate. Say you want to be an instructor in model designing. If people buy a printer, they need software. I need to make a model. You want to teach that? Just send us a video. Just demonstrate how to make a model. Talk your way through it, and then we will not critique you, too hard. We give you positive feedback in case there's some little small issues. Just to add, and then we say we have a meeting where you might meet with the agency and perhaps Michael and myself, and then we give you accreditation, and then you're on your own. You can go and teach, which is great, and then keep in touch with us in case you want to maybe have us change something in the software, or you might want to issue your students certificates, Blender4Dental course certificates, which is great.
Yeah.
So we've got this established structure that we've developed over the last 4 years.
And the last applications are mostly I've seen that mostly for IBAR. So
yes, the IBAR is a very popular module. Maybe we want to talk a little bit about that.
We find that there's a lot of hybrids, like all-on-X's supported on implants, that are made out of zirconia, very heavy material. It can break sometimes. And there's always been a push for like a metal bar substructure supporting the implants. And then over the top of that, you would put a denture or zirconia or whatever. So we thought that the best way of dealing with this issue is to reverse engineer. Because if you put the teeth on the arch with a gum and all of that so on digitally, and you verify that in the mouth, and biologically you've got it in a good position, patient is happy aesthetically and everything, by reverse engineering, which means the IBAR is just a cutting tool. It's a special cutting tool that you design. So you will then make a parallel-sided bar on the inside. It's not a bar at that stage, it's just a cutting tool. And once you've designed the cutting tool, you split them apart. So you're left with the bar, which can be milled out of titanium or something, and then you've got the top shell, the zirconia shell on top of that. But it is quite sophisticated because you can go over the top of the teeth. So if you've got like a pterygoid implant, for example, which is so far in the back of the mouth, that needs to be metal supported. So we can actually make the bar like half in zirconia and half in metal. And in addition to that, we can also make many little bars. So a little bit like these telescopic crowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen crazy things with
It's
this
in
IBAR
the
module.
Yeah, so it can set different cement spaces so people can do it in, one procedure, mill, and then just cement the two together. And a big benefit of having a bar is that, say something happens with the teeth, they break or something, there's no need to unscrew the bar from the implants and disturb the healing, the implant side. So you could just remove the teeth from the bar, take an impression or scan, and then just repair it that way. So no need to remove it from the implants, which is a great benefit. It's got a lot of benefits.
For hygiene as well, if it's correctly designed, you can have a nice metal surface. So there's a lot of benefits to IBAR, and a lot of people are using IBAR.
And this shows what you just said before. Like I can integrate Blender4Dental in with my existing CAD system.
Yeah,
exactly.
I export from one CAD, importing Blender4Dental and using IBAR.
We've got a few modules like that because we've got the IBAR. So other dental CAD softwares, like you said, they can make their whatever they want
hybrids,
and then put it into Blender. Then we've got a milling module coming out very soon.
Very
so you can
sophisticated.
cut the parallel sides, the walls. Also good for other, integrated. And we've got another one, the Darkos articulator.
Oh, Darkos. Yes.
we know. Congratulations. It was a very good idea. But that's another add-on which the non-Blender4Dental people can use.
And of course, next year, jaw motion, we'd want to.
Jaw motion.
Yeah,
so I think that, yes, we can say that with the upcoming module, there is, we are working together as a Medentica company from me and Blender4Dental and Ruthenium from Italy. So we joined and developing this new module, which is called the Darkos, where can basically, if you are printing a model, and nowadays we are always printing models with the 3D printing, you want to go back into the articulator without using the plaster with the Darkos module. That way maybe we can explain in the next episode. You can just put it back into the articulator with the magnet system, which is developed thanks to you guys. Yeah.
That's a great benefit, actually, because when you're printing a denture, for example, you want to fine-tune it back the analog way.
Yeah,
and
then some people say, okay, well, I can just use dental stone, but not really entirely so, because sometimes you may get a scan with like 2 upper teeth and 2 lower teeth. There's no indication how these models are articulated. We can see them on the screen, but there's no way you can print them and then re-articulate them. So this is a perfect
solution
solving this problem.
Okay, so we got the Blender4Dental starting from model designer, then doing crown and bridge, all kind of restoration. We are waiting for the orthodontics, but we know that nowadays it's very important to work with implants. So everyone is working with implants. And how is the situation with the implants library?
Wolfgang's got a story to tell.
Yeah, well, when we first started with Blender4Dental, it was a real challenge. Oh. And I'd send letters, to various implant companies. No, we don't do SDL. We only support 3 CAD software programs. Who's Blender4Dental? But luckily we got some on board, and one of those particular is Medentica, which I've always loved and worked with myself in the laboratory. We love Medentica. Having said that, then other companies jumped on board, and some didn't, and we'd say, well, we'd now have to refer to, Medentica. And that probably, motivated other implant systems to come on board. Implant parts are very difficult to replicate anyway, so have to be so precise, and nobody in dentistry that I know of would not buy authentic parts. We stay with the genuine parts. But STLs can some of the implant companies modify their components.
Okay.
You only need certain things like the mesh geometry that fits over the abutment that creates an inner fitting surface.
You can't use
once
them.
modified, or we might offer implants in a very low resolution, but great for DICOM planning. So there are ways to work around this. And now we've got pretty much most implant companies. It gives Blender4Dental the ability to make implant crowns and all kinds of custom abutments.
Yes, all on X.
Yeah.
All on X.
So one might ask, FDA or all of those things. We do not have FDA, but we have the CE mark for Europe, and we have the TGA equivalent for Australia. But we're getting more recognition on board.
That's good. That's good updating. And so if we want to meet the B4D brothers, where can we come? There are two big events upcoming in the next 20-25 years. So are you attending ADEC and IDS?
Yeah, we've had a bit of restructuring going on. Coming from Australia, I have moved to Dubai. If you look at globally, the Gold Coast, Brisbane is far away, very difficult to hold courses, even, like customer service, the timing is very difficult. So with me being in Dubai is really good. Wolfgang's still in Australia.
It's a great centralized location.
Yes,
for example, in our course, we have people come from Hong Kong and Malaysia and Europe. It's just one flight. We don't have to spend hours and hours in the plane to go to Australia. Having said that, Australian beaches are beautiful.
The water's not as warm there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but coming back to your question is that we do attend trade shows. The ADEC, we're going to have a small participation. Unfortunately, the IDS and the ADEC are very close to each other. But 2 years ago, we were at the IDS, and this time around, it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. So we plan to have speakers, and most of those are instructors who have come forward. Yes, I want to have
in different languages.
Speak in Spanish. I want to do this demonstration and advertise their own course in turn. And so we'll have a full schedule of demonstrations over IDS, which we're looking forward to.
We need networking, integration with other companies to make the whole Blender4Dental a better or a pleasurable user experience. We want this to be a smooth flow. Like I've said, it's not necessarily a competition, but we'd like to contribute something to the dental community, whether it's a dentist or dental laboratory. We want to, ultimately, it's all for the patient. So it's not just software, it's all to give the patient a better experience and to provide a healthier oral environment. This is why we are even here. So I think we just want to, make things as best as what we possibly can.
And we have seen this from the scratch. So Blender, we start it with the Blender, which is an open source software. Blender4Dental developed all the plugins to make this software available for dentistry. And we can do from a model, crown bridge, implant restoration. We've understood that the next project might be orthodontics module. And we are all looking forward to see this software growing very fast. Thanks, Remedico, for sponsoring this podcast. This is NextDental podcast. Please subscribe to Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and another platform. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.